G'day folks, and welcome to Gourmet's Shed. It's another rainy day in the shed, as a matter of fact. Seems to happen lately when we're out here. But anyway, we won't worry about that. What we're doing this week is looking at printing your own backgrounds, which is what I've done here behind me. This background you can see here along the wall was all printed out on A4 paper. And it's approximately 8 foot long overall, and it was printed out and obviously cut accurately, or as accurately as I could get it, and then glued to the wall in sections. So what we're looking at today is a piece of software that will allow you to do that quite easily. We're assuming that you've already got your background together, because that's a whole other story. I think the advantage in doing it this way is that you have control over the subject matter, of course, and you can also get a bit creative like I've done there. And when the image is printed out on standard A4 paper, it's actually quite a matte finish, so you don't get the shine off it that you do get off some of the commercial products. So that's a good thing, actually. And obviously the whole thing is sealed, but I'll show you that later on. So what we'll do now is we'll head off to the computer, and that's where it all happens. So here we go now.
Right, the first thing you have to do is find Posterizer on the net at the address that's just highlighted there in the address bar on the screen. And once you've done that, you can have a look at the site if you like, and you'll notice that there's also a tutorial on the site which will give you a bit of an insight into how to use the program. And really it's quite a basic program, but it can be used for all sorts of other things apart from model railway backgrounds. You can obviously see that you can print large pictures and all that sort of thing. But you go to the download area and you will notice that it's available for various systems, and Linux included. So you just choose the system you are using and go through the download process for the program. It's really quite easy, actually. Once the program's loaded on your system, you can open it up, and in this case we'll open it up full screen. And then you need to select the file that you wish to print from your hard drive and open that up. I will choose a big one in this case. It's a massive file, so it will take just a little bit to load because there's so much data. So eventually it'll pop up there on the screen. There we are. And you can see you've got some details about the image there, and you can see it's massive. You can also go into settings and set up whether you want to look at it in inches or centimeters or millimeters or whatever suits you in particular. Today we'll do it in inches, just to suit the English people that are looking at this. Most of my audience is in England, so we'll do it that way. And then we'll move on to the next stage. We'll close off the settings, move into the next stage. Now here we're looking at the orientation of the paper, and we're also looking at the type of paper and the border on the paper, and all this is changeable. You may have larger paper than I do, but it's set at default of A4, but you can change it there. And initially we'll go through and change the orientation to portrait, and we'll come back and change it back to landscape, but we'll go through this exercise first. And we'll stay with the settings on the borders there. As I say, these can be changed. And then we'll move on to the next stage, which shows you where the image will overlap. Now you can pick which way you want to do this, but for the moment we'll just leave it as it is there. And this is how it's breaking up the image. Now that looks rather small to me, and I would rather have the image at full height of the page. So we'll just work out how many pages it will use if we do that by changing the settings here. And you can see it's blown out to over 31 pages, which is a bit ridiculous. But then again, you know, some people might like that. So I think what we'll do is that we'll go back now and change the orientation, and we'll reduce the number of pages required. So we change the orientation to landscape, and then we'll move forward through the program again using the same settings as before, and you can see that now at full height it's down to a bit over 15 pages. It will print 16 actually. So we have to then, if we're happy with that, we will move on and save the file in the next stage. You can do it both ways, and you're literally just saving a file. So you click on save up the top there, and that will take you through to the next process, well, saving the file as a PDF, and we'll just do this as a test file. So we'll give it a name, and we'll type that in, and once we save it, it'll move on to the PDF stage. It'll open it up as a PDF, and that should happen very shortly. Here we go, and then you're into the program that deals with PDF on your system. Now, being such a large file, again, it might take a little bit to load it properly. So you can see it's struggling a bit there, but it's broken it up into 16 pages of images. Now, I wouldn't suggest you go off and print it straight away. You will find, usually with most systems, you have the facility to print one page. So I would print something probably that's got a building on it or whatever. You can pick out whatever you like and just print one page out of the whole background, just to trial it at the back of your railway, just to see what it looks like. And you can see on my system here where I'll go down to the options for printing, and you can print the current page that's on the screen, or you can actually select by page number. So I would strongly suggest that you do that before you go ahead and print the whole thing out. And once you're happy with the whole system, it's just a matter of printing it out, and then you work out your overlaps. I usually cut with a straight edge and a sharp knife, and it's like putting a jigsaw puzzle together, I suppose. You have to trim a little bit off one of the pictures for your overlap so that it will join perfectly, but it's just a matter of laying one over the top of the other, and I'm sure you'll work it out. It's actually quite easy.
Okay folks, well that's how you do it, and obviously you need to seal it, and I use this product here. It's Boyle's matte spray sealer, and it's available from our big hardware chain here in Australia, and but any similar product will be just as good. It's what you would do if you were building scale scenes kits as well, However you seal your paper when you're doing that sort of thing, it's the same process for this. So that's all you have to do. Okay, that's all for now. Cheers, Gourmet. See you next week.